You are listening to the Happiest Lives podcast with Jill Lillard, episode 158.
Welcome to the Happiest Lives podcast, where you'll learn to think better, feel better, and become the woman God says you already are. Here's your host, Jill Lillard.
There's always another load of laundry. You wash it, fold it, and put it away, and somehow there's already another pile waiting. And if you're anything like me, that's not just laundry, that's life. And somewhere in the middle of it all, a question starts to surface. Does any of this actually matter? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Happiest Lives podcast. We are in week 3 of our Simply Remain series. When we started this series 2 episodes ago, we were talking about what we're really chasing underneath every outcome, that thing we think we'll feel when we finally achieve the goal, finish the project, and get the relationship right. And what we named is that the feeling we're after, the peace, joy, sense that everything is okay, that is not waiting for us on the other side of the outcome. It is available now, in this moment, because it is the fruit of the Spirit, and it comes from abiding. Last week, we talked about something that might have stung a little. Stop trying to be spiritual, because when we chase that feeling of spirituality, when we perform our practices instead of actually showing up in them, we can miss the whole point. God isn't impressed by our spiritual resume. He's not waiting for us to get it together before he welcomes us in. He's inviting us to come as we are now, right now, as we actually are. And when we spend our energy trying to look or feel or act spiritual, we can walk right past the moment of real connection that was available to us all along. Today, we get practical because I want to invite you to ask yourself a question. Do you believe what you're doing actually matters? The ordinary things, the invisible things, the things that nobody sees and nobody thanks you for. Do you actually believe any of it is important? And how do you stay present, really connected when so much of life feels monotonous and unspectacular and completely unremarkable? That's today, and I'm calling it God in the Laundry. And this episode really isn't about laundry. Laundry just happens to be one of the clearest metaphors of what a lot of life feels like. Repetitive, necessary, unseen, never fully finished. You wash it, fold it, put it away, and somehow there's already another pile waiting. And for a lot of women, that's not just laundry, that is life. Meals, dishes, schedules, driving, cleaning, emails, grocery shopping, managing emotions, keeping relationships going, remembering everything, holding things together. So much of life is maintenance. And if we're not careful, we can start moving through our entire lives disconnected while doing all of it. We become productive without being present. And when that happens, even good life starts feeling empty. The work itself is not meaningless, but because we've lost connection while doing it, that can become a problem. I think this is one of the hidden reasons so many women feel exhausted right now. Not just physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted, spiritually exhausted, because it's possible to be accomplishing things all day long while never actually experiencing your life while you're living it. You become efficient, capable, functional, but inside, it can feel like something is drying out. You can usually tell this is happening because certain things start showing up. Complaining, discontent, resentment, feeling unseen, feeling unappreciated, constant irritation, boredom, anxiety, numbness, scrolling, rushing, always needing the next thing. Sometimes overproductivity itself becomes a way to avoid being present. You stay busy enough that you never have to actually sit in your own heart. And underneath those feelings are usually thoughts driving everything. This doesn't matter. No one notices. I'm carrying all of this alone. This is all my life is. I'll finally feel peaceful when everything is done. But the work is never done. There is always another load of laundry, another email, another mess, another responsibility. So if your peace only comes after completion, peace keeps getting postponed. I want to tell you about a monk named Brother Lawrence, 17th century France. Spent most of his life in a monastery kitchen, washing pots, preparing meals, the unglamorous, repetitive, never-ending work of feeding a community day after day after day. Out of the ordinary life came one of the most influential books on Christian spirituality ever written, The Practice of the Presence of God. The whole idea, washing pots could be just as sacred as prayer at an altar if his heart was oriented toward God while he did it. Not some of the time, all of the time, in the noise and the heat and the mess of an ordinary working day. That is abiding, not in a monastery chapel, in a kitchen, in the doing of an ordinary task with a heart oriented toward God. And what I love about Brother Lawrence is that he didn't wait until his work was finished to connect with God. He didn't compartmentalize his spiritual life into a separate hour of the day. He brought God into the pots and the pans. He remained connected in the middle of the ordinary. And out of that, peace, joy, a life that bore fruit in spite of its complete unspectacularity. That's what we're talking about today. Not finding God after the laundry is done, finding him in it. In John 15, Jesus says, I am the vine and you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. That word abide means to remain, to stay connected, to dwell, to continue with. Not striving harder or performing better, but simply remaining. And what grows out of abiding? Fruit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, which means being present in the everyday is actually productive. Not because you cross more things off a list, because the Spirit is producing something inside you while you live the ordinary life. The laundry matters differently now. Not because folding towels is spiritual in itself, but because God is present there and because who you are becoming in those ordinary moments matters. The fruit is growing in the places nobody sees. And here's the verse that made it possible for me to actually believe that. Psalm 16:5. You, Lord, are my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. I have a beautiful inheritance. This is one of my favorite scripture verses of all time. He has assigned me my portion. My lot is secure in him. The ordinary day, this ordinary house, these ordinary people, this ordinary work, this is my inheritance. Not a consolation prize or a waiting room. This is my actual life assigned to me, held by him. Which means I can be here, fully here, not agonizing over the past or running ahead to what's next. Here, in my body, in this moment, in this day, with these people. Because when I know my lot is secure, when I'm not striving to make my life into something other than what it is, I can actually abide in it. The security is what makes the remaining possible. I'm not trying to get somewhere else. I am here, and he is here. That's enough. So I want to get more practical because abiding in the ordinary starts with getting honest about why we're doing what we're doing. I think there are 3 questions worth sitting in. The first question is this for them or is this for me? Because sometimes I'm cleaning the house because I like a clean house. That's just me. I'm not going to over-spiritualize the toilet. But there are other things I do that I tell myself are for the family. The healthy meal, the thoughtful planning, the care I put into things they'll never know I cared about. And I have to ask honestly, is this out of love or is it out of a need to be seen doing it? I don't always know, and that's okay. The question itself is the beginning of honesty with God. And the second question is Is this what he called me to do? Because if it is, if this is the work he placed in front of me, then it doesn't matter if nobody at the dinner table notices. He notices. And here's what I need you to hear. He never asked you to do any of it to earn his love. You already have that. What he gives us to do isn't a test or a transaction. It is an invitation, an act of obedience that is itself a form of remaining in him. The task and the connection aren't two separate things. When you're doing what he called you to do, you're already abiding. The doing is the remaining. The third question is, am I staying connected to him as I do it? Am I remaining in him through every task, not just the spiritual looking ones, every one? There's something Murray says that reframes the whole thing. We tend to think of pruning as the dramatic seasons, the loss, the crisis, the things that bring us to our knees. But the Father prunes through the word, and he works in the ordinary. The laundry is the pruning. The thankless meal is the pruning. The invisible, faithful work that nobody applauds, that is precision formation in the hands of a gardener who knows exactly what he's doing. It's not punishment, it's precision. He is making something in you in the mundane, unremarkable moments of your ordinary day that could not be made any other way. Something is always happening. The question is whether you're connected while it does. So one of the healthiest things I think we can do is to start examining what's happening inside us during an ordinary day. Why am I complaining so much lately? Why do I feel irritated all the time? Why am I rushing constantly? Why do I feel emotionally exhausted by simple tasks? Trace it back. What feeling is underneath the things that you're doing? Maybe it's discontentment, pressure, fear, loneliness, resentment. Then ask, what thought is creating that feeling? Maybe the thought is, this isn't meaningful. No one appreciates me. I have to hold everything together. I can't rest until everything is done. My life feels small. Those thoughts create an emotional atmosphere around everyday life. But abiding allows another voice into the room. The Lord directs my steps. My portion is secure in him. This season is not accidental. The work of my hands matters to God. I can do this unto the Lord. God is here too. I don't have to rush to prove my worth. I can receive this moment instead of fighting it. And what's interesting is the tasks themselves may not even change. You still make dinner, you go to work, you clean the dishes, you drive the kids, you answer the emails, but internally, something shifts. You stop living like a machine. You stop acting like your value comes from how much you accomplish. You stop postponing your life until the checklist is finished. You start remaining. You start noticing. You pray while cooking. You worship while folding laundry. You bless your family while preparing meals. You ask, Lord, what do you want for today? And then you move forward in faith, not frantic striving or proving. You're not chasing significance, just faithful presence. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask God. He gives generously to all without finding fault. Just ask in the car, at the sink, in the 10 seconds before you walk back into the room. The asking itself is abiding. And don't underestimate what's available to you outside. Romans 1 says creation speaks. God's invisible qualities clearly seen in what he has made. Sometimes the most available on-ramp to his presence isn't a Bible open on a desk. It's 5 minutes outside, the sky, the trees, something that reminds you the world is bigger than your to-do list and held together by something other than your effort. I remember growing up, my mom had a poem hanging on the wall. I think about it often now as an adult. It said, take time to smell the lilacs and feel the warm, bright sun. Take time to look at rainbows. Don't wait till work is done. There'll always be a cobweb, some finger marks or rust, weeds to pull, a lawn to mow, and something gathering dust. We must remember lilacs, bloom just once a year, and you can see a rainbow only when it's here. The work is never done, but the lilacs don't wait. And I think that's part of abiding too, remembering that life is happening while we're busy maintaining it. The conversation at the dinner table, the sunlight through the kitchen window, the laughter, the quiet, the ordinary afternoon. This is your life, and abiding allows us to actually be there for it. Rather than replaying the past or agonizing over the future, just be present, connected, aware of God in the middle of ordinary days. Start by savoring the moment, savoring what is good. So this week, one thing, just one. Instead of asking, how do I get more done? Ask, how do I remain present with God while I do what's already in front of me? Pick one transition in your day and make it your reset point. Getting in the car, walking from your office to the kitchen, the moment before you pick up your phone, the pause before you walk through the door at the end of the day. In that transition, I want you to pause. One breath, one honest sentence. I'm still here. I need you here. Give me what I need for this next thing. And when your mind starts to drift into the resentment or the worry or the scroll, notice it. Turn back. Worship while you work. Worship when you worry. God is already there in your internal world, the one nobody else witnesses. He's not waiting for your quiet time to show up. He's already here in the thought, in the feeling, in the moment you turn back toward him instead of away. My lot is secure in him. I can be here, right here, connected. That's enough. Maybe the goal isn't just getting through your life. Maybe the invitation is to actually live it. Brother Lawrence was once asked how he stayed so connected to God in the middle of such ordinary, unglamorous work. He said, I just keep turning my attention back. Every time it drifted, I turned back. That was all. Just keep turning back. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to impress anyone with a spiritual resume. You don't have to have a quiet time that always goes the way you plan. You may not get a thank you at the end of a meal you worked hard to prepare, but just keep turning back. Your kitchen is sacred. Your sink full of dishes is sacred. Your car and your commute and your hard conversations in the internal world that nobody else will ever witness, all of it is the field where fruit grows when you stay connected to the vine. He sees it, all of it, the effort and the motive and the disappointment and the turning toward. He sees all of it, and he is with you in all of it. You don't need a monastery. You have a life. That life is exactly where God is meeting you. Simply remain. Next week is our final episode in the Simply Remain series. So we've talked about what we're really chasing, what abiding actually is, and what it looks like in the middle of an ordinary day. But what about when the spiral hits, when your thoughts take over and your emotions pull you under and remaining feels impossible? Or when the season feels brown and dormant and completely unrecognizable? That's where we're going. Our final episode, Remain in the Spiral. I will see you then. If you want to take this work and apply it, go to myhappyvault.com. That's where I share free resources and ways to stay connected. I'll talk to you next time.